The tear gas is moving through the air. It's getting pretty difficult to breathe.
It's supposed to be a tool of last resort, used only on people who are rioting, people who are a danger to themselves and others. But as we've seen in recent protests, tear gas is rarely a last resort. It's more often a weapon used to end peaceful protests while looking civilized.
A repeater grenade.
Governments claim tear gas is a relatively safe weapon.
The attack is on, with harmless but effective tear gas.
At least when compared with shooting, which is how they used to deal with uprisings. But tear gas has been banned on the battlefield for decades because it is harmful. Not actually a gas, but a very fine powder. It's impossible to control and contain. The particles specifically target pain receptors, irritating the skin, lungs, eyes, and mouth. But every ban on chemical weapons has left a loophole allowing for law enforcement to use tear gas on domestic riots. And while there are no international laws requiring governments to report injuries or deaths caused by tear gas, researchers say they're happening frequently.
Studies have found that repeated exposure to tear gas and excessive exposure to tear gas have led to symptoms of PTSD. We know that there are some links between tear gas and miscarriages, tear gas and sort of ongoing respiratory conditions. You're poisoning a population and you are really making a space into something toxic.
Police in over 100 U.S. cities have used tear gas against protesters since just May, firing chemical irritants specifically designed to harm the lungs during the height of a respiratory pandemic. So it's instinctual for people to flee, leaving very few witnesses. In Portland, a viral video taken by a journalist shows federal officers in gas masks moving into blinding clouds where cameras can't see and reporters can't stay. Other protesters and onlookers caught flashes of violence in Seattle, D.C., and Philadelphia. What journalists do catch in the clouds sometimes fits a narrative that only helps police.
All of a sudden, that relatively calm crowd of protesters turns into a screaming, running around, choking, crying, chaotic scene. And that switch in scene is what makes it much easier to look at something and call it dangerous, call it violent, call it a riot.
In the aftermath of the chaos, all that's left are the police and the government they answer to, claiming they've once again restored law and order.
In Portland, they've done a fantastic job. They've been there 3 days, and they really have done a fantastic job in a very short period of time. No problem.